Since the dawn of time, man saw fit to challenge themselves over and over again, whether it be with shit like the Olympics, or in the case of us stupid nerds, hard challenges in video games. And while a series like Fire Emblem has the Iron Man already, how about, I step it up a notch? The Fire Emblem Steelman is a regular Iron Man, so if you lose a unit, they die forever. If you lose your main lord, or if you get a game over at all, then you have to restart the entire game. And with the Steelman, of course, additional rules have to be made so it can be harder. Before this point, I had a punishment wheel where I would spin after I lose 10 units or get a game over, and it would give me really difficult punishments. And honestly speaking, it was way too overtuned. It was extremely chaotic, and nothing was going anywhere. So I had to tone it down at least a bit. So the punishment wheel is now gone, and now every single game that I play will have punishments already put in. So for instance, say I'm playing Sacred Stones. All the trainees that are in Sacred Stones have to be used, and the promotions are chosen at random. And also within this game, when you're promoting a unit, you gotta flip a coin to decide the class. And other useful things like any growth increasing item like the Metis' Tome, or summoning are banned no matter which game. No matter which game it is. Same for support grinding if it's supports based off of the GBA style where you just sit next to a unit and it builds support. And of course, every game has their own kind of different rules. This challenge will also include ROM hacks. And while a lot of these ROM hacks I haven't played yet, I still try to give at least some rules to them. The ones that have more rules added to them are ones that I've already played, so you'll notice which ones I've played when it comes to that. Yeah, each game is made more difficult with these rule sets. Some games more so than others. And adding on to this, I'm mostly going to be doing 3 variant runs for certain games. So the variant runs are a randomizer, so my units will be random, their classes, the enemies as well. Actually, well, for some games at least, the enemies randomize. Other games don't. It's the nature of how some of these games work under the hood. A reverse recruitment, which means any units that I get last will be first, with their stats changed accordingly, of course. And a weapon reversal. Every single enemy and playable unit will have a reversed weapon type. So, for instance, your shitty sword lord is going to turn into a lance lord, and you're going to be fighting a whole bunch of myrmidons and mercenaries early game. It's very, very fun challenges. And which 3 games am I going to be doing these challenge runs with? First, for the randomizer, Sacred Stones, which doesn't have any randomizer for like it technically doesn't have any randomizer for changing portraits and changing enemies. You'd have to use Yoon for that, but it's kind of outdated. And I like the self randomizer a lot, even if Erica's still gonna be the main lord. She's just gonna be a different class. For the reverse recruitment, Path of Radiance. How they do it, from what I saw, is that Lagoos are reverse recruited for themselves. So for instance, if once you get Leth and Mordecai, that's when you get Gifka and Tabaran and all that. Or I think Gifka and Naesala is how they do the order. And for Bjork, they're reversed. So you get Alincia as your main lord. I think they did it that way just to avoid soft locking if your main lord dies. And for the weapon reversal, FE5. Berusha is a very, very fun game, and I've actually yet to touch the weapon reverse ROM hack. I know how the Chapter 1 units look like, that's for sure. That's about it. And these 3 games, FE9 has the rule changed. The rule changed slightly from how it was before, just because of how the units are changed, but for the most part, I didn't have to change the rules too much for doing these variant runs. So all this talk about these variant runs, which game am I really just going to be playing first? And the first of the new Steelman live streams is gonna be Genealogy of the Holy War. There isn't too many rules for this one, but there are hard enough rules, especially one of them. So you'll have to see how that ends up turning out. There are a lot of games to play, mainly because there's also ROM hacks being involved with this. But hey, that's just how it is. I want this to be a long-running series, and with this change, I hope, you know, there actually is going to be progress made. Because, yeah, that was too much last time. I had completely forgotten there's a 4th variant run that I wanted to do. So, draft races. They're certainly a thing. There's going to be a draft mode for this series as well, and one game's going to have to abide by those rules. So, which game is it? Fire Emblem Fate's Birthright. That's gonna be kind of interesting. Any units that are a game over condition are forced to be a part of the draft, and they're not counted as a free unit that you can use. They're just forced. For example, a free unit is Corrin and Azura when it comes to this. I'm guessing also one of them, either Jacob or Felicia, depending on who you pick first. I think that's it. I don't know, I'll have to look up to see how people have done draft runs for Birthright. But in any case, yeah, I completely forgot about adding this, so it's gonna be added in post. Before these Steelman streams happen though, I need to do something to pass the time between now and the 25th Let's Play. And while I do like doing live streams, I also like doing normal videos. So I'm gonna be playing something, well, I'm gonna be replaying a game technically, but under new circumstances. Yep, it's gonna be Andaron Saga. I'm gonna be playing an Andaron Saga, but with the official randomizer. It works similarly to how the FE8 randomizer works, so Bodymon is still gonna be your main lord and all that, but instead of it being fully random with like different kinds of huge kinds of combinations like FE8 self-randomizer does, this one just has a specific classes each character can turn into at random. But when you restart a chapter, or a unit will be changed to another class if they're not recruited yet. So for instance, in chapter 2, you can, if you restart, your normal units won't reset to another class, but Barrett, Bjarki, Runa, and Fred will. And it can make for some pretty insane stuff from what I've seen so far from other people. So tune in tomorrow from when I start the Andaron Saga Randomizer. It's gonna be very fun, and I can't wait to play through it all. Hey, I get to play Andaron Saga again, which I have some new things to say about it. In any case, see you guys tomorrow. Take care.